I have two sons that have rocked my world, not only in the cliched, I never knew love like this way, but also because you see, my sweet little devil of a 5-year-old happens to have a penis, and my wise beyond his years 9-year-old was born with a vagina. My oldest child was a force to be reckoned with almost immediately. As soon as Skylar could dress herself, a very clear clothing mandate became clear. Sweats and a t-shirt were the daily uniform, and no colors that could be viewed as girly would be worn. Pretend play always cast her as a cowboy or policeman. Our family absolutely embraced it all, though. We loved this child and her wild energy like mad. Sure, it was fun to picture future prom dresses, but right now she was just happy. But Skylar got older and stronger in her opinions. I told myself that she just felt that girls didn't get to do the cool things she wanted to do. My mistaken solution? I developed into the #1 girl power cheerleader. I would do monologues about how girls can do everything that boys can. The perplexing, to me, result? My sweet child became even more withdrawn. Yet my blinders remained tightly affixed. I even asked myself if she simply thought her dad was just more fun. There were much more significant signs, too. Getting her hair brushed became a daily nightmare of screams and tears that left us both miserable. Tantrums would occur that made no sense and were more like complete breakdowns. Skylar also wasn't affectionate with anyone. She didn't want to hug or cuddle or really even be touched. Eventually, my eldest became no longer content with that which had been enough in her younger years. Already, boys and girls were dividing into their separate groups, and my child in her boy clothing and long hair was stranded on her own island. And me, I was cast in the role of a helicopter parent, being told stories meant to tell me that I was just imagining problems where none existed. Then a family friend confided, "Skylar just told me I'm glad my name is Skylar, so I don't have to change it when I get older." I can still vividly picture myself sitting there nodding and smiling on the outside, while inside my head, the world tilted off its axis. I turned to the problem solver of our current daily lives. I asked Google. Feeling petrified like the computer would come to life and shout to the world, "Hey everyone, here is a mom that is getting everything wrong." I started searching for the answers, even though I really didn't even know what the questions were. I eventually spoke with a man named Aiden Key, the director of gender diversity, and the comfort he brought to me was immediate. All these months, I had been looking for some definitive test that would tell me if my child was transgender. And of course, unlike a pregnancy stick, it doesn't exist. But Aiden did exist, and he changed our lives forever. Aiden reminded me that as long as the deep down and true message I was giving to Skylar was that I loved and accepted her for the child she told me she was, then it would just all be okay. The proverbial light bulb went on. When I did my girl power spiel, that wasn't listening to what Skylar was telling me. I needed to just listen and love. Now it would seem like this would be the end of the book. We'd end with the words, "and they lived happily ever after," trailing off the page and carrying our hero and mom off into the sunset. But Skylar had taken the subconscious messages that the world had been sending and knew that what she wanted to share was truly scary. And I continued to make the mistake that a 6-year-old should or could be brave enough to go against all those messages, and that she would tell us what should happen next. My accomplices in this charade of feigned ignorance were the many, many well-meaning people continuing to tell me I was overreacting, that this was just a phase. To this day, my submission to this pretense breaks my heart, because I knew something was making my child more miserable in their own skin with each passing day. Finally, I began trying to give Skylar the language. I asked, "How do you want to live?" And my beautiful child told me what was true in his heart. He wanted to live as the boy he had always known he was. I wish I was a poet so I could properly describe the beauty that then presented itself. The first time I called him my son, the first time I talked about what a great big brother he was, the smile of true joy that lit him up is the gift that sustains me. I am the first to admit that I was the cynic who would do the internal eye roll when someone would spout the blessing of a hard time. But here I am, knowing that what Skylar has taught me about bravery and truth is the greatest gift ever. Aiden taught me to ask my children, who do you see yourself as when you dream? And I can now see myself as a mom who accepted her son just as he is. Thank you.